identifier that they're using, the SSID, has escape characters in it. There was somebody that was noticed that, hey, if you have like percent P, I forget the string, it's like percent P, percent S, percent S, percent S, percent N, or something like that. Oh, Apple didn't account for percent being part of the SSID, and it causes their Wi-Fi software to screw up. So kind of knocks you off the network. You have to clear your network settings to get back on the air.
Right.
That was just incredible to me. Anyhow, you have a great day.
All right, thanks, Joe. You too.
Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, there's side channel bleed, and I get that. But you know, if my neighbor and I are both on 6 and we're fighting for bandwidth, and I move up to 8, I still got to be less of a problem for him than if I stay on 6. I don't know. It just strikes me as that would be the way to do it. Anyway.
But I can see them when they were designing the specifications to get more speed out of the bandwidth they already had is to overlap channels anyway.
Right.
And so us old schoolers who are used to requiring different channels is now a bad thing.
Right.
So the advice that we used to give people is now wrong because things changed.
Yeah, exactly. That's life. All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Tom from Rochester, New York. What's up, Tom?
I have a question on cell phone service. I currently have a flip phone with 3G, and I get a letter saying that the carriers are going to 4G and 5G, so I'm thinking I should probably think of upgrading my telephone if this is true.
4G is out there, and it works very well. 3G still works.
Yeah.
It won't, as far as I know, it won't stop working. They haven't announced. Yeah, they haven't announced yet that they're killing 3G. 4G is very active.
Verizon has said they're shutting down 3G December 22.
Okay, so a year and a half.
So a year and a half from now, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of 4G, that is very viable. It's pretty ubiquitous, I guess, which is bad use of the term ubiquitous, but it is pretty broad, it's pretty widespread.
And 5G is not. So.
And 5G is not. And then there's
yet.
two different versions of 5G. There's real 5G and not real 5G. And is it in your neighborhood and you get some 5G but not a lot, and then they back you down to it just stick with 4G.
This is sneaky. Verizon is shutting down CDMA 3G, but leaving GSM 3G on. Because GSM is the global service for mobile communication that everyone else in the world uses.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing.
Yeah. So, if you have a CDMA-only phone on Verizon, it will stop working after December of 2022.
And you find that out by either looking in your manual or calling Verizon, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Or Google it.
All right.
You're supposed to buy a new phone every year like everybody else.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
That used to be how the 2-year plans worked, is you paid off your phone in 2 years, and you got a new phone with all the new technologies.
Right.
And then when people paid off their phone and didn't upgrade, they still were paying for their phone, even though they already paid it off.
Yep.
That was the secret the telcos never told you.
Right. You always pay for your phone
Yeah.
if you bought it on time.
Yep. So now most of the plans will split out the cost of the phone and the cost of the service. So when you do pay off your phone, your bill goes down because it's now just the cost of the service.
Right.
But you'll probably upgrade it to a better phone anyway, and so your bill never goes down.
Right. And, of course, flip phones, God bless them, flip phones are... Actually, I think we're going to see new flip phones. Now, when they talk about the folding screens.
Yeah, that's a flip.
You'll be able to flip open a phone, one either broad or landscape or portrait, I guess.
There's still companies selling 4G flip phones. It's usually the lower end of the $30, $40 phones. But for people that just make phone calls.
It's perfect.
Yeah. And then you don't have to put a screen protector on it because your screen is not exposed all the time.
That's exactly right.
Well, somebody texted in, have you guys ever talked about the sidewalk feature in Amazon apps?
Yes, but we're happy to do so again.
I kind of think, and I heard this on another show, that sidewalk in general is not a bad thing. But the fact that Amazon is pushing it is what's annoying and scaring people.
The basic idea behind a sidewalk is that they are essentially creating a universal broadband connection, Wi-Fi connection. Anybody who comes by can use your Wi-Fi connection to connect to the internet. Theoretically, it is separate from your home connection, so they can't break in to your home connection, but it's there. It's in so many current devices.
And it's on by default.
Right.
And the thing is, it's not just Amazon named devices, it's Ring devices, because that is Amazon, even though it just says Ring. It may not say Amazon Ring on it.
Right.
So the Ring device. So the sort of the idea is that you get a device you put in your mailbox that can let you know when the mail comes.
Yeah.
But it's too far away from your home Wi-Fi, so it can't get to the internet. But maybe it's close enough to the neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Right.
So when the neighbor has an Amazon device, it can join their network. Now, a lot of cable companies are already doing that. Spectrum and Cox and what's the other big one out west? Comcast. They are already sharing internet connections, and so that oftentimes you will see here in Rochester there'll be a Spectrum Wi-Fi network that isn't yours, but it's got a good signal because it's kind of being shared by your router for other people in the neighborhood.
Right. So at any rate, if basically that means you're providing internet access to anybody's sidewalk devices.
And it doesn't count on your internet plan
Theoretically.
because it's separate. Yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
If they're in range of your Ring camera or your Echo speaker, that's sort of fair. You can opt out of it if you want to, although it doesn't appear to be available in mine. You open up your Amazon app on your phone, go to More down there in the lower right corner, tap Settings, then Account Settings, and you're supposed to see Sidewalk there, and you can switch it off. I don't see Sidewalk there. I see Guest Connect, but that's a different thing.
Do you have an Amazon device?
I have several, and it's still not here. It was here
Until you turned it off?
at one point, and then I turned it off, and now apparently it's gone away. I couldn't turn it on again if I wanted to. It's just very weird. I also turned off voice purchasing. Thank you very much, as I have no desire to accidentally buy things.
There was a...
I keep getting a notice from Amazon on my Echo device to reorder a product that they discontinued.
Nice.
And it won't stop reminding me I should be reordering it.
There was a case a few years ago around Christmas time. A little kid said, Echo, buy me a dollhouse. And it did, because their parents had one-click ordering and everything turned on, so a dollhouse showed up. So they apparently went to the news about it, and on the news, the news person said, Echo, buy me a dollhouse, as part of the story. Hundreds of people all over the city started getting dollhouses.
Yep. Yep. So if you have, I'd like to hear from people. Give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. It's 966-5299. Toll free, 1-800-790-0415. If you have Amazon devices, look and see if you have Sidewalk and if it's on or off. I just don't have it on my app for some reason.
And you have Amazon labeled devices,
Yes.
not like a Ring. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm seeing note here that if you have a Ring device, you have to tie the Ring app to your Amazon account.
No, I understand that. No, I have an actual Echoes,
But
more than one.
Other people have been run into this too, that the Amazon Sidewalk option is not there, and no one seems to have an answer for it yet.
Including Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't mind not having it because I don't want it.
Right.
But assuming you already turned it off.
I did turn it off.
Yeah.
It was there and I turned it off, and now it's not there. So I couldn't turn it back on again, which I don't want to do anyway, so I don't care.
Maybe once you turn it off, then it's gone.
Pretty unlikely because you should be able to reverse it.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to turn it back on.
Right. So I don't know what's going on there, but that is Amazon
Maybe they
Sidewalk.
With one of the updates to the phone, they removed it.
And
you got to reinstall it if you want it.
Maybe. But
because that was the whole thing of the Pixel, though, is you only put stuff on there that you want.
No, I have the Amazon app, and it would update if it were new.
Now it says to use not the Amazon, the other A-Word app.
Yeah, that's what I'm using, the
A-Word
Alaska.
app. Yeah.
The Alaska app is what I'm using, yes.
So it's not the Amazon shopping app you use. You use the Alaska app for controlling your device.
Right.
Oh. Okay.
In fact, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I've got 2 working. The rest of them are having a couple of Fire tablets.
I bought a floodlight cam on Prime Day.
Yeah.
Specifically not Ring brand.
Yeah.
Partly also because you have to subscribe to the Ring service to see saved videos. And so I got a different brand that you put an SD card in the camera and record as much as you want. They also have a cloud service if you want to see it on there too, but you can see it on your SD card for free.
Yeah, I've got one I bought off of Amazon, and I can log into it at any time, and I can see what's going on.
Sometimes
you have to use an app.
Yeah, it's on the phone. It was an app.
Yeah, a lot of the cameras don't use websites anymore. They've all gone to apps.
So I'm going to take one of my Raspberry Pi 3s.
You'd think they'd want to write a web app that you could run on any platform and not have to have specific teams writing specific apps for specific platforms.
Right, you would think. But that means they have to have some sort of web server. Although web servers take up about that much space on your phone. It doesn't even matter. But yeah, so if you've got, I would love to talk to people who have the Amazon Sidewalk. And let us know if you can turn it off, or if you like it, or you don't like it, or whatever the heck is going on.
What's your opinion of it?
Yeah.
Or your experiences, good, bad, or indifferent.
Amazon published a white paper on the technology, and Steve Gibson at GRC went through it, and they did everything right. It is private, it is secure, as long as it's implemented the way they said they were going to.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And none of that means you aren't getting charged for the data usage, because that's not them, that's Verizon and everybody else. All right, that music tells us you've wasted an entire hour of your life with this nonsense, but cheer up, take heart, for there's a whole nother hour of the longest running computer show in the known universe coming your way. That's Sound Bytes, right here on the Truly Great, and truly grateful to you that we continue to be member supported. Jazz 90.1. Give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ, that's 966-5299, or toll free at 1-800-790-0415. We're going to take a slightly longer break, but we will be back with a whole nother hour of Sound Bytes right here on member-supported Jazz 90.1. See you on the other side.
Computer talk you can understand. More Sound Bytes is next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
WGMC Greece Rochester, a public service of the Greece Central School District, Jazz 90.1.
On Instagram at WGMC Jazz 901.
NBC News Radio, I'm Cameron Fairchild. Forecasters warn the heat wave in the Pacific Northwest could be life-threatening. Temperatures well over 100 degrees are predicted today throughout Washington and Oregon. A tropical storm in the Pacific has become the first hurricane of 2021. The National Hurricane Center in Miami says Tropical Storm Enrique has strengthened into a hurricane about 150 miles south of Mexico with sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. The search for survivors continues after the deadly collapse of a condominium in Surfside, Florida. 159 people are missing, 4 confirmed dead. The Food and Drug Administration adds a warning to Pfizer and Moderna COVID vaccines, indicating a risk of heart inflammation. For each vaccine, reports suggest increased risk after the second dose. Cameron Fairchild, NBC News Radio.
This program is presented by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Obesity is a major public health problem in the U.S. Nearly 1 in 5 young people between the ages of 2 and 19 has obesity. Unfortunately, children with obesity are likely to become adults who struggle with their weight. Obesity in adults is associated with heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Children with obesity are more likely to suffer from depression and low self-esteem. Developing healthy habits early in life can help prevent obesity. Eat a diet high in fruits and vegetables, drink water instead of sweetened beverages, and get regular physical activity. These are the most effective ways for children and parents to maintain a healthy weight. Thank you for joining us on A Minute of Health with CDC.
For the most accurate health information, visit cdc.gov or call 1-800-CDC-INFO.
Jazz 90.1 and the Eastman School of Music are proud to present Jazz at Eastman, Past, Present, and Future, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. This weekly program, in cooperation with the Eastman School of Music, features performances as well as works by Eastman faculty, students, and alumni. Hosted by Herb Smith and curated by Jeff Campbell, this program explores the many decades of jazz at Eastman. Jazz at Eastman, Past, Present, and Future. Wednesdays at 8, only on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Sunday nights are Spectrum Sunday nights on Jazz 90.1.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
I'm up every morning with the sun.
Start your evening at 7 with Jim McGrath and the Blues Spectrum, followed by the Soul Jazz Spectrum with Chuck Angersall at 9.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
Then The Spectrum with Derek Lucas at 10. From blues to soul jazz to the spirit of jazz, join us Sunday nights starting at 7 for Spectrum Sunday nights, only on Jazz 90.1.
Spectrum Sunday nights.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. As a parent, it can be scary to hand the car keys to your teenager. To help your teen stay safe, be a good role model and follow traffic laws yourself. Set rules for your teen, including wearing a seatbelt, driving only during the day, and with limited distractions, including from their passengers. Finally, make sure your teen knows it is never okay to text and drive. For a sample driving agreement for teens, visit healthychildren.org.
Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by Summit Responsible Solutions, a manufacturer of organic, all-natural mosquito control products under the Mosquito Dunks brand name. Mosquito Dunks can be used in ponds, bird baths, rain barrels, or wherever water collects. Non-toxic to people, pets, fish, birds, and other wildlife, Mosquito Dunks are available at local and national garden centers everywhere. Information on how to control mosquitoes can be found at summitresponsibleSolutions.com.
The newly renovated Jazz 90.1 gift shop is open with new and familiar items for you to enjoy and to show for your favorite community jazz station. The shop is easy to find and easy to use. You can purchase Jazz 90.1 baseball caps, coffee mugs, shopping bags, t-shirts, and more. Browse the new Jazz 90.1 gift shop at jazz901.org and click on Support Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back to America's longest-running computer show, Sound Bytes, on member-supported Jazz 90.1. Get online now. Call 966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll-free 800-790-0415. Or submit your question by email at soundbytes.org. Once again, here's Nick Francesco, Dave Enright, and Steve Ray on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And at 6 minutes after the hour, we are hurtling headlong into the second hour of the longest-running computer show in the known universe. Sound Bytes on member-supported Jazz 90.1. Before we go back to the phones, go ahead.
I was saying, before we go back to the phones, we may have an answer as to why you can't turn off Amazon Sidewalk. You had until June 8th to do that.
Okay.
After June 8th, it's on.
So if I've already turned it off,
then it's off. But if you didn't...
Perhaps.
But if you didn't turn it off by June 8th, it's probably on.
Yeah, okay. So now you don't get a choice. The hell with you. Okay, I get that. I do. Before
Amazon's turning into Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Don't forget to vote in the poll. Our poll is on Windows 11. And your choices in the poll are excellent, interesting, I'll reserve judgment, meh, heh, Windows, and other. So far, we've only got 32 votes. I'm counting on you, so vote in the poll. And then, of course, give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll free, 1-800-790-0415. Just like Mark did from Greece, New York. Hi, Mark. What's up?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Peachy. How are you?
Peachy, too. Went into the Amazon app. On the Alaska app.
Yeah.
And went in to the settings. Sidewalk on mine is able to be turned off and on. And it's still there, even though I turned it off.
Good. Turn it off.
Yeah, it's disabled. And it's still available, at least on my app.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I keep them all up to date. I don't let them, go out of date and not update things. I just keep updating them. So this should be the most current version of the app.
Interesting. All right. Thank you so much.
Just wanted to let you know, okay?
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep. Bye.
So, yeah, we were talking about the Alaska app and how it used to let you turn off Amazon Sidewalk, and as Steve said, it no longer does. But as Mark says, it still does. So that's Amazon for you.
Maybe they changed their mind.
Yeah.
We forgot to ask what device he was on.
Oh, we did. We forgot to ask. But yeah. All right. Our next caller is Richard, also from Greece, New York. Hi, Richard. What's up?
Actually, I'm from Sweden, New York, but
Sweden.
Neighbors.
I'm heading out to Sweden after the show. There's a model air show in Northampton Park.
That's right. That's about a 10-minute walk from my house.
And
wave to Steve as he goes by.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd surprise you with a Mac question today.
Oh no! Wait, hold on. Okay.
Is everybody sitting down and bracing themselves?
Yeah, we got it. Steve's waking up. Give him a second. Go ahead.
I made a mistake, and I listened to an Apple genius and followed the directions accurately and to every little detail, and upgraded beyond my level of operational capability on my Mac. I have a Mac 2010 build. Everything's been running perfectly, but I thought it'd be a good idea to upgrade it to whatever the most recent, up-to-date operating system that was available for my particular unit.
Big Sur or something, isn't it?
Big Sur is the current OS.
Correct, but for mine's an Intel, like I said, it's an Intel Mac, a 2010 build. So it won't go up any further than High Sierra, according to the people at Apple. And so I wanted to do it in baby steps, so I updated to Sierra first, 10.12, ran it for a few months to make sure everything was working. It was working perfectly. I mean, like a clam through a seagull, slick and smooth. It was just perfect. And so then I said, I'll make the next jump to High Sierra. And I should have realized I should have known better than to jump to something that's 10.13, right? And so now nothing is working. And I talked to Apple, and they said, well, the only way to go back to an older version of software, go back to 10.12, is they have to completely wipe my Mac clean and then reinstall from Time Machine. And I'm checking with you guys, because you know more than the Apple geniuses, to see if that's really what I have to do.
Yes.
Oh, rat.
You can't downgrade an OS. if you're really good, you can turn on all the invisible files and delete all of the system operating folders that you know where they are. But don't do that. The easiest thing.
We do not recommend that anybody do that ever.
What model computer did you say you had?
It's an iMac.
iMac 2010. Let me check.
A 2010 build, and then I put in the serial number online at Apple, and they said I could go up to OS 10.13.
Yeah, 10.13.6. That's what my notes say.
Correct.
Here too.
And when I did that, all the Apple products function perfectly. All of my Adobe software, all my Creative Suite software, it doesn't work anymore, or it keeps crashing.
Creative Suite was discontinued 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Correct.
That's the problem.
So the operating system boots, it still works.
It's the third-party apps you're having trouble with.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
And so to solve it, I think the simplest thing is, I was perfectly happy with 13.12. I just need to get it back to that, and then I'm hoping everything will run the way it's been running for the last 11 years.
Yeah. There is a website called roaringapps.com, back when Apple code names were cats. And you can put in your third-party programs, and it will tell you the compatibility level. Now, according to that, you can run Photoshop. Creative Suite 6. I assumed there. What version of Creative Suite do you have? 6. It's supposed to work on Mojave.
Yeah. Oh, it will?
Yeah. Because Catalina's where they went 64-bit only and broke a lot of programs. Windows 11, 64-bit only.
Right.
That's going to break a lot of programs.
Right. Well, now, is there a way that I can simply, all right, put it this way, if I do have to wipe the whole system clean and restart it from, restore it from the external hard drive using Time Machine, can I pick what day I want to reinstall from on Time Machine?
Generally, yes.
Because
you get a list of the backups.
Okay, because obviously it doesn't make sense to back up from the most recent backup because that's going to have High Sierra on it. I want to go back a day before I install High Sierra.
Yeah. One of the tricks, I'm trying to remember what it was, there's a security panel in System Preferences where if you turn on full disk access, the programs can work.
But that's dangerous.
Well, you can tell Photoshop to have full disk access because they started restricting what folders applications could see, and that broke a lot of things as a way to stop a malicious program from getting in and deleting stuff. But it may work if you give Photoshop and the other Creative Suite apps full disk access in the security system preference.
Yeah,
that's something to try first, at least.
Well, I wonder if it's still safer to try and reinstall.
That'll take longer, but you'll know it works.
Yeah, because everything, even the things that are still running, are slower than a herd of turtles through a bucket of peanut butter.
How much RAM do you have?
What have I got? I think I've got 8 gigabytes, maybe 16. I think it's 8 gigabytes.
Yeah, 8's okay. 16 is better. It's always the
anything else.
Like anything else, yeah. You double the minimum.
Right. Yeah. So I think this one came with 8. I don't think I added the other 8 when I bought it, and it's one I bought directly from Apple years ago. So back when I was getting higher education discount pricing.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Well, it looks like I'm stuck. I've got to go back and.
Well, one of the other solutions is to use different programs. There are a lot of really good photo design and editing programs that are not Photoshop. Right. Affinity has a great suite for $50. What is it? Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer. So basically Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign for like $50 for the whole suite. And they have free trials. So a lot of people who don't want to pay the $50 a month for the Creative Cloud app have switched to newer programs that work on the newer OSs.
I suppose it's worth an experiment, but
yeah, if your computer's already getting slow because it's running the newer, and that's usually why Apple stops supporting and even allowing a newer OS onto a computer because it would be too slow. But sometimes that highest one they allow is still a little too slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think also because High Sierra was the first one that was starting to allow the 64-bit processing. Wasn't that part of it, too? Everything before that was 32-bit, and High Sierra, I guess, recognized 64, or not?
Yeah, something like that. I know they've been running 64-bit apps for 10 years, and we think that was the problem. They gave developers 10 years to convert to 64-bit, and then when it happened in Catalina, they were all shocked and surprised that they had 10 years notice and that wasn't enough.
Yeah. All right, so it sounds like something that I can do myself, spend the afternoon fretting over it, and then erase everything on my iMac and then restore it. Can I do it directly? Go just to the iMac, to the external hard drive, and say just restore to this? Or
maybe you can try booting the Time Machine drive and restoring to a specific date. But I think that way only restores to the latest backup.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I don't need.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, well, gentlemen, as always, thanks for your help. Love listening every week.
Thank you.
Have fun at the radio-controlled airport over there at Northampton. It's a nice area.
Yeah,
all right,
it's
thanks.
nice. Yeah.
All right.
The Rochester Radio Control RCCR, Rochester Radio Control Club of Rochester.
There you go.
That's why I started flying 30 years ago when I lived out that way, and they're having their open house this weekend, today and tomorrow, and they have typically will have trainers available too if you want to get some stick time yourself.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, I should put in a plug then too.
Yeah.
Sure you should.
For as a lot of folks know, I'm also into ham radio, and this is the big weekend for the ARRL, American Radio Relay League. It's our what they call Field Day, and if you go out to Kent Park, off of Scribner Road, if you get off at Basket Road, go to Scribner, you go to Kent Park, and go to the back. There are folks out there, and they will be there. They'll start at 2:00. They've already set up. But if you've ever wanted to find out about ham radio and what it takes and see it in operation and, even listen to various calls being made in it, I suggest between now, like I say, it's going from 2:00 today until 5:00 tomorrow. And they literally go all night, folks. This is something that starts and goes, and it's to show folks out in the field. They're throwing antennas up into a tree and making contact all over the world. So if you've ever wanted to see and explore ham radio, go and check it out. It's free of charge, and you can learn more. All right, we did have Mark text us back and said, I'm on a Moto G7 Optimum Maximum.
Okay, what we actually meant, Mark, was what Alaska devices did you have? But thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. For those of you still using the Western Digital's popular MyBook Live hard drives are being deleted remotely by an unknown attacker, according to the company. And there's not much anyone can do at this point but unplug their drives from the internet. We have determined that some MyBook Live devices have been compromised by a threat actor, Western Digital's Jolin Tan said. In some cases, this compromise has led to a factory reset that appears to erase all data on the device. But Western Digital assures users the company's cloud system hasn't been compromised, though the incident is still under active investigation. The MyBook Live device received its final firmware update in 2015, Tan continued. At this time, we are recommending that customers disconnect their MyBook Live devices from the internet to protect their data on the device. Users first reported that their drives had been remotely deleted on a Western Digital community thread from June 23rd with plenty of horror stories, including one from the creator of the thread who said that their 2-terabyte drive had been completely wiped. Man. Wow. Another user said they had years of data deleted. Someone else described the experience as scary. Another user explained how they lost 4 different network drives, all wiped clean. Another user described the experience as looking like a simple error message at first before they realized everything was gone. So how's your Western Digital MyBook Live drive? Have you disconnected it yet? Give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll free, 1-800-790-0415. You know, we tell people all the time, back up, back up, back up, and now something like this happens. That's why you want multiple backups in multiple places on multiple devices.
And it's just taking the time. Once you get them set up, it's, it'll happen automatically. You can make it just happen. And, you're protected down the road in case something goofy like this happens.
Right. All right, to the phones. Our next caller is Ed from Rochester, New York. Hi, Ed. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question about maybe it's endemic to the system. I don't know. I got a, the bank card I use for buying stuff. I think about 2 months ago, that got hacked. And so they sent me a new one, and that lasted until I got hacked about another, say, 3 weeks. They just sent me one in June. I got my statement today, and I saw somebody made some kind of a purchase in Amsterdam and Disney World. I've never been to those places myself. My question is, if there's something, how in the world, when they cancel your account, send you a new card, does somebody get it right away? How could that get on the dark web? I don't make that many purchases. The last thing I bought was like from eBay and something from Amazon. And usually I use it for, you get the cash back if you do local, buying your groceries and getting gas, and then those mundane things. But this thing that the latest one lasted about 2 weeks until I got the bill, and I called the lady, and they're nice enough to put it on hold, et cetera. But how in the world could you circumvent something like that if that happens so quickly?
Well, there's a couple of reasons that can happen. One is that whatever financial institution you're using is being actively hacked, and they're getting all the latest card information immediately. It could well be that the eBay purchaser or the Amazon purchaser or one of the local people that you purchased from was unscrupulous. In point of fact, I know that my card got hacked once, and it was a local person who was caught. And I went through the whole get a new card, all the stuff was stopped, et cetera, et cetera. But it was a local person. We daily hand our cards to the lowest paid employees in America. 99.999% of them are honest, scrupulous, good, wonderful people, but not all of them. So, it could have been any one of those. I try to not buy from eBay, or if I do buy from eBay, I use PayPal so that it will
protect you.
They're much more protective.
Or a one-time only credit card. I know
my PayPal credit card is essentially, I use it for tap to pays. From my phone, and I use my PayPal card because it does a one-time only.
Yeah, every sale is a unique credit card number.
Right.
The other danger is that generating a credit card number is a known algorithm, so the bad guys just generate a new number and all the time, and they'll catch someone that's real. The credit card number and the expiration date are paired together. That's why you have to give expiration dates when you order stuff online, and bad guys just keep generating numbers until they get a valid one.
Yeah, the last one that threw me on this one was that it was used at the Rochester airport for $2 at a vending machine.
It's the way they do it. They take out a small amount first.
That you probably won't notice.
And if you don't notice it, they go for a big amount.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but the bank's good about putting that on hold and doing the investigation on it. I did see something I want to go down and talk to them about. They had sent, the last time I was hacked, they sent, and I got the copy of the email message that came to me, but they sent, apparently the thief got it, and they sent to them a message that here's your temporary, what was the wording they used? Your temporary passcode for your account.
Yeah.
But they got it, but I got the message, and I didn't see it until later.
Someone has...
Three times to them. I couldn't believe it.
Someone has possibly broken into your email account. Because you can go to any website and say forgot password, and they'll email the address on file. So bad guys who get into email accounts will often then do that to every bank, saying I forgot my password. They read that message that comes to your email and then change your passwords and then get into your account that way. So you may want to change your email password to be safe there too.
Okay.
That's again where we were talking last week. We highly endorse using some type of password manager. I mean, they can create passwords that most folks won't be able to break on you. I mean, and the only thing is you only have to remember, like if you use a product like NPass will generate passwords that, it'll take them a lifetime to try to break. But yet you only have to remember one.
Right. I heard that program, and it was good. I didn't get a chance to ask you. I use LastPass. I don't know if that's
also good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem is it's unlikely for anyone to brute force a long, complicated password like that. But it's very easy for them to call up. Hi, I'm Dave from Penfield, and I can't remember my password, and sweet talk your way into getting the password reset.
Yep.
Right, but the security questions, wouldn't they have to know the answers to those in order to access them?
Have you ever taken a Facebook quiz?
And
if the answer to that is yes, they have your security questions. That's what all of those quizzes are.
And a lot of times the security questions: who's your best friend in high school? Oh God, that was a long time ago. Is it Rich? How about George? Maybe it was Phil. Oh, good. Okay, what's the next question?
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, good. Well, I guess we just have to keep.
Yeah.
The irritating thing about it is you have to call everybody again.
Yeah, again.
The auto pass or the access that they call automatically to bill you, and then it's here we go again type of thing. But,
there is a commercial company called Privacy.com. I haven't used them, but I've read good things about them. They've advertised on some of the security shows I listen to. They have a process basically where you get one-time use credit cards. So the credit card can be used once and never again. You can make custom credit card numbers, and so this credit card can only be used at PayPal, and this different credit card can only be used at Amazon. So it limits the vendor the credit card can be used at. And it's they have a I'm trying to find their service here. They have a free service for a certain number of cards a month, and then they have a pay service to get more cards and more options per month. You can limit how much money can be spent, so you can give your kid a $10 music subscription card, and so they can spend $10 a month on music, and then it will stop working till the next month.
And that's privacy.com, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said something. I wanted to ask a question. Would you think it's worthwhile then? I don't do a lot of shopping, but would you say to create an account with PayPal?
Well, if you've got to put money in PayPal.
Right.
Unless you tie it to your credit card, and then you lose some of the protections.
Right. Yeah, that's a quandary. Okay, well, I appreciate. Yeah, I'll try that privacy. That's a good idea.
Because so many companies take PayPal anyway. So it looks like Privacy gives you 12 cards a month for free, and you can go up from there.
Good deal. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back while you all log on to privacy.com. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with Dave Enright, with Steve Ray, with me, Nick Francesco, and you. It's 29 minutes after the hour. It's Soundbites. And yes, that means it's member-supported. Jazz 90.1. See you on the other side.
Online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at soundbites.org. More with Nick Francesco, Dave Enright, and Steve Ray next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
What do June 9th, 14th, and the 25th have in common? They are all food celebrations that include strawberries. Hi, I'm Melinda Myers, horticulturist and gardening expert. If you love rhubarb and strawberries, you're sure to want to celebrate June 9th, National Strawberry Rhubarb Pie Day, with a slice or two. Rhubarb is often called the pie plant, as colonists used the red stems to make a strawberry-colored pie. Strawberries were added to sweeten the tart flavor of the rhubarb. And dessert lovers break out the forks once again on June 14th and enjoy some strawberry shortcake in honor of this holiday. Strawberries have been around for more than 2,000 years, but combining it with a pastry to create strawberry shortcake started around 1847. And finish off the month celebrating Strawberry Parfait Day on June 25th. The name of this Parisian dessert, parfait, means perfect, and what a perfect treat for a hot summer day. Check out our website for this and other gardening tips.
Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by Wild Valley Farms, which make organic, all-natural, sustainable wool pellets for the moisture-holding ability of soil. Wool pellets are made from 100% raw wool and can be added to the soil of indoor and outdoor plants for water retention. Wild Valley Farms wool pellets are available online at wildvalleyfarms.com. More information on the benefits and how to use wool pellets can be found at wildvalleyfarms.com.
You can enjoy great music like this every week on Big Band Friday. Sound Bites continues next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
The summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song, then we strolled that golden sand. Two sweethearts and the summer wind. Like painted kites, those days and nights went flying by. The world was new beneath the blue umbrella sky. Then softer than a piper man, one day it called to you. I lost you to the summer wind. The autumn wind and the winter wind, they have come and gone. But still the days, those lonely days go on and on. But guess who sighs his lullabies through nights that never end? My fickle friend, the summer wind. Fickle friend, the summer wind. Ooh, that summer wind, warm, warm summer wind. That summer wind.
Here's the latest Jazz 90.1 weather forecast.
Some serious summer sizzle ahead for Rochester, Western New York, and the Finger Lakes as we work our way into the weekend. In fact, on Sunday, we could see near record high temperatures into the low and possibly even mid-90s. For your Saturday here, we're looking at a mostly cloudy sky, scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms as well for the afternoon. A stiff southerly breeze, the high temperature in the mid-80s. Muggy tonight with another shower, thundery downpour. The overnight low near 70. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
And currently right now we've got mostly cloudy skies, 81 degrees out at the airport, and 85 here at member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Hi, this is Al Malutis. Join Ray Seraphin and me on the Polka Bandstand Show every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And at, 35 minutes after the hour, we are Sound Bites.
Yeah, polka music is infectious.
It is infectious, and we all just wanted to dance.
Huh?
And it was a horrible sight.
Yeah. I'm getting out of the way.
It's not something that you want to see.
Clear the studio.
Right, exactly. Our next caller is Charlie from Henrietta, New York. What's up, Charlie?
Not too much. How's it going, guys?
We're peachy, thanks.
So I have a Raspberry Pi 4.
Yep.
In a Flirk case, by the way, which is awesome.
They are supposed to be amazing.
Right. So there's no fan, and the whole case is a heat sink, and it's cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So anyways, I'm having a little trouble, though. I'm trying to do a sudo apt-get upgrade.
Yeah.
And I keep getting these errors, and it says unable to fetch some archive. So it's almost like it seems like the site that it connects to do this upgrade is not live or something like that. But it's been for over 24 hours now, and I just wondered if you'd ever run into that issue.
Yes. I've run into on a couple of my programs. I went to get the updates, and the link that it had.
Right. In general, when you are using a plain vanilla Raspberry Pi, it should upgrade fine. What we find people often run into is what Dave's run into, which is you add a repository so that you can get a different program from somewhere, and that repository goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's called link rot. And what you need to do is either remove that repository or go out to your the place where you added that repository and find out what the new address is.
Because they might have just changed it a little bit, that when you're trying to paste that back in there to go out and do the link in SSH, it's not finding it.
Right. The program I'm trying to install is called FBI, just to view images.
Right, and you needed to add to your repositories a link to upgrade that automatically, and it's not working anymore.
Right.
All righty.
So one of the things, if you're just looking to, at any rate, what you need to do is to go there and see what they say, because it's clear that they've either changed or maybe they're out of business or whatever. But the point is, you need to try that.
What else are you using your Pi for?
Well, I use it mostly just to check the weather. I have it in the bedroom here, and I, can check the weather in the morning, and it's great. I also use it to check my fantasy team and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little kind of computer in the bedroom that I keep.
Play around with and very low cost.
Right. Yep. It's awesome.
Perfect.
They're a lot of fun. That's why we've been talking about them, and you can do so much for just a thing that's not much bigger than a bar of soap.
Right. Oh, you know what I was going to try to do actually with it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know anything about this, but I kind of wanted to set it up so that it would check to see if there's a power outage at my house and send a text to my phone or something like that if it detected a power outage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's apps out there for it.
Right. So I guess, but of course if the power goes out, then the router also will go out, and I'm just wondering how that will all work.
The way you do that is you need to get an uninterruptible power supply, connect the router and your Raspberry Pi to it. And then most of them connect via, there's a USB connection as well that you connect to the Raspberry Pi. Then you run a program that constantly checks the UPS, and if it starts running on battery power, it sends you a text.
I got it. So
and the better ones also will then send you a text if it goes back on regular power again.
Right. So in other words, if the power goes out at my house, I have Time Warner or Spectrum, I guess, and so as long as the router has a UPS, you could still get internet service?
Well, yes.
You need all your routers. You need the Spectrum cable router, and then you probably need your own Wi-Fi router on the UPS as well. So you may need to get a bigger UPS to put out enough power for them all.
Okay.
And then all the rest of your laptops and phones will be able to stay on the internet until they lose power because your Wi-Fi is on the UPS.
But believe it or not, what a lot of folks are also playing with,
hold on before you go there. Let me finish off by saying all of this is predicated on the fact that it's a local blackout.
Yeah.
If it's widespread enough, then the tower's gone and all of that stuff is gone and none of it's going to work for you. But for any local blackout,
And
that will work.
A UPS is even good for brownouts. We find the lights flickering in our office all the time, and so we put our servers and our routers on UPSs so that they don't have to deal with the flickering lights.
Right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but no, some of the folks are starting to play around with, because they've dropped quite a bit in price is solar panels and connecting them to a bank of batteries as backup. Because, solar panels before, they're big and clunky and quite heavy and expensive. Heck, nowadays they've got them so they're like they can fold up, and you can take them anywhere. It's quick setup and generate your own power wherever. So that's another thing that folks are getting into, and having it as a backup, because the Pi doesn't take much power. I mean, the Pi can run on 12 volts. So, if you hook that up, and then if it's tethered, like
but again,
say,
you've got to have enough power to also run your router.
Which with a,
I'm just saying, you just have to be aware of that.
Yeah, but you could tie it to that would kick over to that, an inverter to kick it over to the panels, and away you go. A lot of neat stuff coming out nowadays. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Well, that's great, guys. And I keep up the good work, and I love it when you guys talk about the Raspberry Pis and stuff.
Thank you, Charlie.
Well, they're coming out with so much other stuff for it, because let's face it, which you've heard us, Charlie, say that you go to most computer stores now, and the only thing you see there are either tablets or laptops. The big computers aren't out there, so something else to play with, which, a lot of us like to tear down and play around and do, monkey with different things and experiment with code and all that other stuff. A Raspberry Pi is a perfect item to do it for, under, around $100. You can have a ton of fun and do just like you were saying, monitor things. I know one gentleman that controls his whole house with the lights and temperature and everything else, and he just dials in with his phone and get into it, and he can check, if he wants to turn up the thermostat because it's getting kind of hot. And that. So there's a lot of apps out there for it.
I just got ordered a new air conditioner to replace the one that broke in our living room. Of course, the first hot day it doesn't work. And it has a Wi-Fi enabled app on it, so I can turn it on and off when I'm not home.
There you go.
Stop leaving the one in the bedroom on all day, honey. No one's up there. Well, the cats are. Well, the cats can come downstairs if they're hot.
Exactly. So I have to tell you, I found on Amazon.
Good luck, Charlie.
Good luck, Charlie. Thanks. I found on Amazon a keyboard touchpad combination that you put a Raspberry Pi inside.
Cool.
And now it's essentially a Raspberry Pi 400.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's only $50, which is half the price of a Raspberry Pi 400.
Yeah.
But you've already then got to buy the Raspberry Pi, which is already almost the same price as a Raspberry Pi 400. But it does, and it's a wireless keyboard, so it doesn't attach directly, and it requires a couple of AA batteries and yada, yada, yada. But if you've got a Raspberry Pi laying around that you just want to play with, you can throw it in this thing. You get a keyboard and a mouse pad.
Was that the Vilros 2.4 gigahertz?
The Vilros, yes.
For $50. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, very nice. And so once again, I'm tempted.
Just go for the 400.
Oh, they make a point of saying this does not include a Raspberry Pi.
Right. It does not include the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
But what I'm planning to do with one of my, I still have 1.3 that I'm not using for anything at the moment. My plan is to make that my camera for the porch.
Okay.
I just stick a camera on it, run motion on it, and then it'll talk to all my desktop and laptop, and I don't have to have a special app and make sure I'm running my phone all the time or whatever.
Yeah, WYZE makes a really nice outdoor weatherproof camera for $20. It has no memory. It has no memory in itself.
Right.
But it can connect to your stuff, and they offer I think it's a 10-day rolling cloud for free. So
Right.
you can see, or you connect it to a software and
I've
can
got
record
one,
it yourself.
and I have it connected
There's-
to my tablet.
They've got robot vacuum cleaners, but they don't have outdoor floodlight cams. I wish.
Right.
They wish they, because I would have bought one because I really like their stuff.
Yeah.
They have outdoor cams and they have floodlights. I suppose I could have made a outdoor floodlight cam.
Right.
But Wise cams are just so inexpensive. They're well done. They've done the security right.
They're very good products, but I want one that I can just set up on my desktop and watch it all day long.
Self-contained.
And it doesn't, you have to use the app to view it.
Yeah.
That's the only part I don't like about them.
Do you want to find one that's ONVIV compatible, ONIV? That's the open camera network format, so it can work with all sorts of software.
Right. But it doesn't. I could run it on my Chromebook, of course, because I can run the app on my Chromebook. But
or you go up to the Wi-Fi enabled cameras that have their own Wi-Fi access point built in. Yeah,
that's what I would have to do. Only it's not; those aren't cheap.
Yeah.
They're $20. All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is James from Rochester, New York. What's up, James?
Oh, hi. On the Windows 10, is there a way to stop those little pop-ups on the bottom right that keep giving you messages about what's going on?
You mean the notifications or some sort of ads?
No, the notifications, it pops up on the bottom right all the time.
Yeah, each program that you install can send notifications to you about something. You would have to turn it off in each program.
Yeah, you
Or there is a
can-
way to there is a way to disable all notifications in Windows 10.
Right. If you want to blanket disable all of them,
How do you do that?
write it down. Write this down.
And I'm posting it too.
Oh, he's posting it as well. You open up the settings menu. And in the settings menu, you go to System, select Notifications and Actions, and turn off notifications. Turn off Get Notifications from Apps.
Notifications from, and that will stop it.
And that will stop all of them. You can elect to show some even if the notifications are off. So, you can turn on tips and tricks, or you can...
Yeah, most of them are useless to me.
Yeah. No, I get that. But I'm just saying that you can all turn off all of them, or there are a couple you can leave on.
Also, on the downloading the VLC media player, they ask me, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Do I say yes or no?
Well, the idea behind that is that you can use VLC to save things in another format, so you would want to say yes.
Is this when you're installing VLC or when you're running VLC?
Oh, installing. I'm doing it now.
Yeah. You absolutely want to say yes.
Yeah. You're adding a program, so you are making a change to the computer.
Okay, just go along with it. Okay,
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So that's one of the security features that the systems have added, that when you install a program, it asks you to be sure you want to install that program. But everyone is so annoyed saying, yeah. The one time a malicious program will pop up and it catches that, do you want to install this fake program? You're going to say yeah because you're used to just clicking yeah.
They get click happy.
But James was smart enough to
call
see
and
it
ask,
and
yep.
say and ask.
If you are not intentionally installing a program,
Say no.
and you get one of those messages, say no.
Yeah, but if you are intentionally installing a program, it is generally speaking safe to say yes.
Yep.
Because that is a change to the system.
And what was the other? If you're not if you didn't go looking for it, if something offers to install, you probably don't want it.
Right.
You need to go looking for a program to install because it's common that you get malicious ads that claim to install. You need to install this codec to watch this video. No, you don't.
Well, he brought up a good point. That VLC that he's installing, depending on where he downloaded it from, quite often it packs in other programs that you download it, and then all of a sudden it starts asking you, well, do you want to install this program too? And folks go ahead and say yes. They click yes. When there is a decline button, you can go ahead and decline. They're just offering it to you. It won't stop the original program from being installed. They're just trying to throw other stuff in there because they're getting probably credit or extra benefits for bundling all these other programs with theirs because it's a popular program. So don't be afraid to sit there and, if you only wanted, say, VLC on your machine and it starts saying, well, do you want McAfee for free trial 90 days? Say decline. You can go through all of them and decline except for the program that you want.
Right. Speaking of
McAfee, yeah, he died.
He passed away.
You like that segue?
They say it was...
yeah.
They say he hung himself.
In jail because he was going to get extradited back to the U.S. to face charges for tax fraud and pyramid schemes. And
yeah, McAfee founded McAfee Associates in 1987, and that was the year I met him. He was doing a dog and pony show in Arizona, so the company I was working for sent me there. I met him. At the time, he was a really nice guy. A really nice guy, at least to all of us. I mean,
well, he's
right. Nice guy. We went, we went drinking with him, and we met him, and we spent the evening with him. And he was a very nice guy, very calm, very pleasant, very intelligent man. But he started it in 87, ran the company until 94 when he resigned. By the time McAfee as a company was purchased by Intel for, at the time, the astounding price of $7.78 billion, McAfee, the man, had already sold his entire stake in it.
When he started getting a little weird, Intel said he has nothing to do with the company anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, the story was the CEO of Intel's yelled out to his secretary, "Get me McAfee antivirus for his computer."
Right.
And the company bought McAfee antivirus company.
Nice.
Misunderstood him.
That's all right. In the mid-'90s, he started a company called Powwow, which was one of the first instant messaging and social networking apps.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably ahead of its time. In 2000, he invested in Zone Alarm, joined that company's board of directors. But by 2009, he was he'd gone from $100 million down to about $4 million. He did a lot of really questionable herbal-based antibiotics, a $100 anti-NSA device called Decentral. By then he was already facing several legal charges, including being under suspicion for the 212 murder of McAfee's neighbor in Belize. That's the one that caused him to flee the country.
Yeah, apparently the dog. The story is his dogs barked too much, and he shot the dogs and the neighbor.
Yeah.
There was a documentary about him a few years ago when he ran for president, and the person doing the documentary was able to track him down a few times to ask him ostensibly about running for president, but then kept bringing up all these weird things he did in the past. Remember that commercial he did with the smoking jacket and the cocaine and the hooker?
Yes. Yeah. He was eventually arrested in October at Barcelona airport after an international manhunt finally closed in on him.
Yeah.
And he'd been fighting extradition ever since. On Wednesday, Reuters reported that the extradition to the U.S. was seeking approval by the High Court in Spain, and that decision signaled that he was likely to lose his fight to evade USA prosecutors, and then he hung himself. Too bad.
Yeah. And then after he died, on his Instagram account, posted a single giant Q.
Yeah, somebody did. Yeah, after he was dead.
After he was dead, and so of course QAnon went on to crazy conspiracies about he's been abducted by the government. Well, it was weird. I was reading. There were some QAnon people were saying he's been abducted by the government, and other QAnon people were saying, no, we have him, and he's going to be our new leader.
Yeah.
Speaking of
they can't even make up their own minds themselves.
Right.
Interesting people to meet. I can remember one time I went to the big comm show down there in Atlanta, and a bunch of us were down there for the conference, and who shows up to our table was Peter Norton.
Nice.
and Dennis Hayes.
Oh,
Did he have his
love
arms
Dennis
crossed?
Hayes, my hero.
Those two gentlemen, we sat down because we were at this steak place and that, and they stopped down. You guys mind if we sit down? No, because I had talked to Dennis Hayes and talked to him. He saw us and that, so he came over. Do you mind if we sit? No, and he brought Peter Norton along. And Peter Norton is one cool ass dude. Pardon my French, but he was. Because he gave great talks, and he was the type of person that started in the garage, and Dennis and him were both sharing stories, and we were sharing stories with all of us. And we wound up spending, I'll bet you, a good 3.5 to almost 4 hours just sitting around talking about computer experiences and everything else. And that one night just is like burned in my mind.
Sure,
the time
fun.
just went by so darn fast. It was unbelievable, and everybody was just mesmerized with them and them sharing their experiences. And it was no complaining, well, this or that. We're just all into it and enjoying it, how they got the ideas and everything else, and their goals and everything else. It was really a great evening. Because I had the opposite thing one time with Bill Gates.
Oh, me too. What's your story?
He was there. He came by our table to see us, and he was going to talk about, because we started asking him, if you ever wanted to get Bill Gates' attention and have him sit down and talk to him about his cars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we were asking him about it because there was one that was being held.
Yep.
And he started talking to us about it and everything else. And then, of course, we're having a good conversation. And then somebody had to jab in there with Windows and complain.
Of course.
Bam. It's, all right, guys, have a good evening. We'll see you later.
I gave a talk at a PC Expo once and said some things that he did not find complimentary about his company. And he caught me afterwards, and after arguing with me for a while, he said, if you're so smart, how come you're not rich? My reply was, if you're so smart, how come you think money's the best way to keep score? And he never spoke to me again.
Oops, that'll do it.
Yeah, oops. Oh, well. Yeah. But those were the days, things like PC Expo and all of that.
Comdex was the name of the place.
Comdex.
I was having a brain fart, but I went down there many year after year to Comdex. That was so much fun.
I got. I was very pleased. I got asked to speak at a PC Expo, so that was very nice. And
Computer Dealers Exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started
that's
in
Comdex,
1979.
Yep. I went to many of those. We probably crossed paths at some point.
Yeah.
In those, but it was PC Expo that
all the tchotchkes and software and everything else you could come back with.
And on the last day, you could get all sorts of crap because no one wanted to carry it home.
Yeah. I got a blimp. Just by saying to the guy, "Can I have that?" And he said, "You can't have that one, but I got one that unboxed. You can have that one." And he gave it to me.
Yep.
All right, that's it. We're done for another week. I want to thank Dave Enright, Steve Ray. I'm Nick Francesco. I want to thank everybody who called in and texted in. It is 59 minutes after the hour, and that means we are done for another week of the longest-running computer show in the known universe. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That show is Soundbites and is right here on the Truly Great, and truly grateful to you because it is with your generous support that we remain on the air and remain member-supported. Jazz 90.1. Be good to each other. We'll see you in 166 hours.
This is 90.1 WGMC Greece Rochester, a public service of the Greece Central School District.
Jazz 90.